Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. Today we're looking at the RovyVon Angel Eyes E80, and this is a really nice flat form flashlight that RovyVon have just released. It's an EDC flashlight, and it comes with an impressive triple light source. So you've got this high lumen, so 1800 lumen spot beam here to the left with the SFT40 in there, I believe. And you've got a 3-watt UV light as well, which is rated a lot higher than other flat style flashlights I've seen at 1 watt. You've also got these auxiliary lights here on the side. These are personally my favorite little feature that comes with this light, because I tend to use this a lot when, you just don't need a whole lot of light. The white LED here is 95 CRI. It's warm, 4000K. You've got a red light as well, which I use a lot at nighttime, and you've also got another 365 nanometer UV light. And I think this will be better used if you're someone who's just maybe checking identification up close, whereas the UV light here is more of a long range throw UV light, if that even makes sense. I think the E80 is tailored for versatility. So if you're a professional that needs to use it for things like inspections, this can be a really important tool to have with you, with that UV feature on both sides, as well as that high CRI feature. And, as well as anyone who's just looking for a really versatile EDC flashlight. So in terms of the dimensions of the light, we're looking at 130 millimeters in length, 29 millimeters in width, and it's only about 15 millimeters thick. So it's pretty slim and compact. If you look at the actual width of it, when you compare it to something like a traditional tube style flashlight, yeah, I find this is just perfect for pocket or pouch carry, putting into your bag, that kind of thing. But in your pocket, you can barely feel it. Weighs about 120 grams. So yeah, overall, I think it balances that portability and functionality in the same package. So let's have a look at what you get. Now, of course, you get the light itself, and this is the box that the E80 comes in. Pretty basic. There are some accessories. So you get this USB-C charging cable. You also get an instruction manual that unfolds. And RovyVon include some spare parts as well, which I really like. So you've got a spare gasket there that just goes in front of the USB-C port, a couple of screws if you for some reason lose those, and that's if you're, I reckon, taking out the clip here, because the clip is removable if you want. You've also got an Allen key. So here's the E80 compared to a few other flat style flashlights that I own, and you can see it comes out at around a sort of average size compared to the rest of them. With RovyVon, I noticed that the back of the light here just has a little bit more of an indentation. So if you kind of turn it on the side, compare it to, say, the Olight Arcfield Pro, even some of these other lights like the Workhorse HD01, it doesn't have that sort of chunky bit of material there. And I think that's just to act as a further heat sink for these 3 auxiliary lights. It doesn't add too much width onto the light. I actually like that design. And yeah, same size as the E90 and the E30 Pro. I'd say the Nightcore EDC29 is definitely the largest out of the lot. But yeah, if you're comparing it to, say, the Arcfield Pro and Workhorse HD01, it is a little bit larger. They're all sticking together. Alrighty, here's a little close-up of the RovyVon E80. And I have to say, I am always impressed by the attention to detail, the amazing quality of these RovyVon lights. The E80 is machined out of 6063 aluminium for the body, and this is actually better in terms of heat conductivity, heat capacity, so it can hold more heat before it starts warming up, compared to 6061 aluminium, which is used predominantly for most flashlights out there. The switches are made of stainless steel. So there's one on the side, couple on the back. And yeah, overall, I'd say the E80 just has a solid, high quality feel to it. And, even the machining, as you can see, really nice. machining. There's no imperfections or rough spots, nothing like that. And it's HA3 anodized as well, increases durability. I wouldn't say it's super grippy, but it's definitely not slippery either. And yeah, it's kind of, I think, tending towards matte black, but it does have a slight shine to it. These switches are also sandblasted and stone washed. So I think that adds a touch of refinement. It's something they didn't have to do. Takes a bit of the shine off. And yeah, you can see there's a bit of grip machined into the switches as well. One of the switches is higher than the other. And that's so that you can differentiate which switch you're pressing in the dark. The side switch here is for the auxiliary lights. It's recessed, so it's not likely that you're going to be able to press that in your pocket. You've also got a USB-C charging port here on the back, on the other side, and you've also got a battery indicator bar. The stainless steel clip here on the back is fantastic. It's got just the right amount of rigidity, you know, and yeah, it's definitely not going anywhere. I like that RovyVon have added this double-sided clip as well, so you can use it hands-free if you attach it to your cap, or even on your pocket, the front of your pocket, on your belt or something like that. You can use these front-facing LEDs. So you've also got on the front a stainless steel bezel, which is something you don't really see with a lot of these flat style flashlights. And I'm not sure why, but it really adds that premium feel. Glass lens as well on the front. And amazingly, RovyVon have managed to fit in a 3000 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery into this E80. And I think that's the largest I've seen on a flat form flashlight. It's also IP68 water resistant and 1.5 meter drop resistant. And they do give you a 2-year warranty with this light. So looking down the head of the light, I'll just bring it up a bit closer. On the left-hand side, you've got the SFT40. I believe it looks pretty much like an SFT40 in a little smooth reflector there. And that's just to really maximize your throw, 1800 lumens. And yeah, it's perfect sort of spotlight and floodlight all in one. On the right-hand side there, I'm not sure what LED this is, but it's a 3-watt UV LED. And yeah, orange peel reflector produces a heap of UV light. This kind of UV light, especially paired with a small reflector like this, would be great if you're someone who does inspections, you know, just getting into those hard to reach areas like in a ceiling, a rooftop. These side lights are fantastic as they add more utility. Like I mentioned, you can use them front facing, sticking out of your pocket. And, you know, RovyVon have even added in a 95 CRI 4000K LED in there. I think that's something they really didn't have to do. Every LED that they put in here has a purpose and is of high quality. That's a 365 nanometer UV LED as well on the side. Same 365 nanometer on the front, I forgot to mention, but that is the one that you want if you're looking for objects to fluoresce more vibrantly. I find 395 nanometer LEDs are cheaper and they produce too much visible light. The red LED is one of my favorites. It's just great for signaling or night vision preservation if you want to walk around with a light. Okay, so I want to go through the UI, just show you how the light works. Now, of course, you have these two switches on the back, like I was mentioning before. One of them is elevated, one of them is a little bit lower. So we'll go through the lower switch first. So if you double press, you get access to the UV mode, and pretty throwy, as you can see, even away from my desk. Just press once to turn off. Now, in terms of this higher switch here to the back, if I long press, you get access to that momentary 1800 lumen mode. The moment you release, it stops. and you get about 10 seconds of runtime on that 1800 lumens before it steps down, but you can keep reactivating. Double press for memory mode and just click through to access eco, low, medium, and high, and press and hold to turn off. Triple click for strobe. And if you want to lock the light, it's 5 clicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blinks, as you can see, and then 3 clicks to unlock, like that. In terms of the side LEDs, just press once to activate that main white mode. Press again for medium and again for high. Okay, press and hold to turn off. Double press for the red LED mode and continue to press to cycle through to low, high. You've got this kind of flashy mode, and then you've got this beacon mode here. In order to access the third UV LED, just triple press, and it's just one mode, essentially. Okay, so here's a bunch of ceiling bounce tests that I ran with the RovyVon E80. This is on turbo mode, and what I'm doing here is that I'm pressing and holding that higher switch to activate 1800 lumen turbo mode, and you get about 10 seconds of output before it steps down to about 50%. You can continue to reactivate over and over again. I did this about 10 times, and the light got pretty hot near the top of it, still fine to hold, but yeah, I do like the fact that you can continue to reactivate, even though it does get quite hot. A lot of other manufacturers just disable that function completely. And yeah, I find that a bit annoying at times, especially if I really need that extra burst of power. Here's a second ceiling bounce test that I ran on the high mode. And as you can see here, pretty much maintains 100% throughout the duration of the test. I also ran some tests on my Opal Lightmaster Pro. And here you can see on turbo, I got an impressive 245 meters of throw. And I mean, that's pretty good for a little flat style flashlight like that and a tiny reflector. I was surprised that I was able to achieve those kind of figures. And CRI ranged between 61 to 68, as you can see, a bit on the low end for these brighter LEDs. And CCT was between 5,900 and 6,200. So definitely on the cooler end. Ran some tests also on the side light mode, just on the white mode, and you can see 30 meters of range on the high mode, which is pretty good for a little auxiliary LED. And the CRI throughout the entire test was above 95, so it got 96, and CCT was around 3,900. While testing the RovyVon E80, I was really impressed that that main white LED mode just produces a surprisingly focused beam. And yeah, for a flat style flashlight, you just wouldn't expect it to throw that far. So it's definitely a great long range illumination device, and also provides generous amount of flood as well for close up tasks. The 3-watt UV light on the front is going to be more useful if you're maybe looking at something at a distance, somewhere that you can't get, maybe in the rooftop. Some considerations to be aware of, and this is one that a lot of you will probably be thinking of: the inbuilt non-replaceable battery, which comes part and parcel with a lot of these flat style flashlights. In order to make them this small, that's the type of battery that they have to use, those lithium polymer cells, which just take up less room, but still allow a decent amount of capacity. So yeah, it's convenient, and it's of course a lot smaller, but you're not going to be able to swap batteries on the go, which might limit the use when you're out and about needing to charge the light. So I'll probably carry a power bank around with me just in case I need to charge it. The second consideration is for tactical flashlight fans. This can of course function as a tactical light with that press and hold feature on the back there to access 1800 lumen mode. I think the RovyVon E80 is designed to be more of an all-rounder, do-it-all kind of light, and it does have surprisingly high candela due to that SFT40 smooth reflector. And the good news is that if you are really looking for that tactical kind of style flashlight, the RovyVon E90 is probably the one to check out, and I'll review that in another video. The third consideration is that the E80 is going to be pricier than other budget platform flashlights out there on the market, of course, but the quality is superior in my opinion. The fourth consideration, and this is more of a design tip maybe for RovyVon, I think a magnet on the clip would have been good. I don't know how they'd implement that though, just given how heavy the light is. But yeah, it'd be good to stick it onto metal objects and, you know, for hands-free use. I did notice, not on this one, but there are other RovyVon flashlights that have a neodymium magnet on the back of the clip. If they put a powerful one there, it could be useful, but yeah, it's not a deal breaker. You can still use it hands-free by using that double-sided clip either on your hat or in your pocket and have those front-facing lights switched on. Overall, the RovyVon Angel Eyes E80 is a thoughtfully designed EDC flashlight. I think it excels in terms of versatility as well as long-range / emergency tactical performance. And from the powerful spot beam, you know, to those UV capabilities, these nice auxiliary lights here, I think it's just packed full with features that make it suitable for a variety of tasks. And if you can compare it to its similar featured competitor, the Arcfield Ultra, it actually exceeds its specs in all areas and has twice the battery capacity. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll answer them down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video as well, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps me to get the video out to more people and helps me to grow my channel. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest news, make sure you subscribe. RovyVon E80 on turbo, 1800 lumens, and it's pouring down at the moment on this path. And let's just go through the different modes. So we've got the eco, low, medium, high, and that high mode here is sustainable as well, doesn't step down. And back onto 1800 lumen mode. I'll go for a bit of a walk. RovyVon E80, and this is on the turbo mode, so yeah, full power, and I'm across the river at the moment. You can see there's a bit of a pathway on the other side and some hills, and you can see it steps down about 10 seconds. 10 seconds before the light steps down. And there are also a few other modes, but only the high mode is really visible from across from here. But you can also access that 10 seconds of turbo. I've got